If you're on the Sony A6000 series, what camera should you upgrade to next? The A6000 series and the Sony ZV-E10 series are the only APS-C cameras in the mirrorless lineup for Sony, I believe. And even if that's wrong, that's the only popular ones that they care about. So that means you'll be jumping up to full frame, which, first of all, congratulations. And I will say there's a little bbit of parameters here in my opinion. If it's anything before the A6700, I really feel like almost any type of full frame camera will do. If you're looking for the hybrid one, the A7 III is a solid option if you're on a budget, in my opinion. In terms of video, it's getting a little bit outdated. Mainly because it doesn't record at 4K 60, but if you're not doing like sports video or something where you need to slow it down and you don't mind shooting in 1080p, then the A7 III is definitely worth it. Then you can go like, you know, A7 IV, A7C II, which is what I'm shooting on right now. Or if you're like a portrait photographer, you can go to the Sony A7R series, which they have higher megapixel sensors, which I'd recommend the Sony A7R III, A7R IV. Or maybe you're going to the cinema line. Maybe you want to be a cinematographer. You can get the FX30, FX2. I have my FX2 cape on. Or you can jump up to the FX3. Now, I said there's a little bit of a parameter here. The Sony A6700 is a very solid APS-C camera. It definitely punches up in its weight class. I don't recommend the same upgrades if you have that camera because it can do some things that some of these full frame cameras can't do, like 4K 120. And it has the more up-to-date Sony AI autofocus system. Me personally, if I was on the A6700, I think going to an A7 III would be a downgrade. If I'm on the A6700, going to the FX30 kind of feels like a lateral move. Technically, the fan itself is really important if you're a cinematographer, depending on the type of work that you do, but for the most part, to me, it feels pretty lateral. So if I was on the A6700, I would be looking at an A7 IV, A7C2, FX2, FX3, or again, the Sony A7R series. All these cameras I've named in this upgrade path are very good cameras. You can use those for a very long time. And if I'm just giving my personal recommendation, there are some of these cameras I would not recommend just because they're a little bit on the older side. And honestly, if you have the Sony A6000 series, you don't need to worry about them. You know, the Sony A7R1, A7R2. Honestly, I think you'll be fine not upgrading to those. Those are just a little bit on the older side. I would not recommend going to full frame just to be on full frame. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you're going to spend your money, make sure to spend it wisely.